Right, let's talk about something that sounds like the plot of a movie you'd find in a bargain bin, yet it's dominating headlines. Elon Musk, the man who looks at a problem and thinks, what if I solved this, but with more rockets and a terrible name, has decided to sue both Apple and OpenAI. It's the tech equivalent of a Royal Rumble one guy in a spandex suit fighting the referee and the entire front row. The lawsuit, filed by Musk's own AI venture, xAI, claims a partnership between the iPhone maker and the creators of ChatGPT is a monumental betrayal. It pits promises of open-source utopia against fears of a dystopian paperclip maximizer. This isn't just billionaires squabbling over shiny toys, it's a fight over the soul of AI. On one side, Musk, the reluctant hero, Cassandra of Silicon Valley. On the other, Apple. Apple turned beige computers into a status symbol. And OpenAI. OpenAI went from non-profit lab to commercial juggernaut faster than you can say unforeseen consequences. The stage is set for a battle over data, privacy, and who controls the most powerful technology ever created. To understand this lawsuit, you first have to understand Elon Musk, which is a bit like trying to understand a cat that's been given a Twitter account and a space program. He is a man of profound contradictions. A visionary who wants to save humanity by colonizing Mars, and a CEO who seems determined to alienate it one tweet at a time. He is the driving force behind Tesla, which revolutionized electric cars, and SpaceX, which made reusable rockets a reality. He is, by any measure, one of the most influential and disruptive figures of our time, a real-life Tony Stark, if Tony Stark was obsessed with the letter X, and spent his weekends getting into flame wars online. His latest venture, the one actually filing this lawsuit, is called xAI. The company's flagship product is a chatbot named Grok, which is designed to be witty, a little rebellious, and have access to real-time information from Musk's social media platform, X. Essentially, it's an AI that has been trained on the internet's ID. Musk's involvement with artificial intelligence isn't new. In fact, he was one of the co-founders of OpenAI back in 2015. He put his own money into it alongside other tech luminaries, with the express goal of creating a non-profit counterweight to corporate AI development, like Google's DeepMind. The idea was to ensure that artificial general intelligence, or AGI, would be developed safely, and its benefits would be distributed broadly and openly. He saw it as a crucial safeguard for humanity, a way to prevent a single corporation from holding the keys to our collective future. This founding role is absolutely central to his current legal argument. Now for the defendants. First up is Apple, the undisputed heavyweight champion of making you feel poor. Apple is a company built on a fortress of secrecy and brand loyalty, a walled garden where everything is beautiful, expensive, and works seamlessly, as long as you stay within the walls. Led by Tim Cook, they are masters of marketing, turning incremental hardware updates into global cultural events. Their entire business model is predicated on user privacy and security, a selling point they have hammered home for years in their battle against companies like Google and Meta. They are the Vatican of tech, ornate, powerful, and very, very careful about who they let inside. This reputation for being a privacy hawk is precisely what makes their deep partnership with OpenAI so shocking and so central to this lawsuit. For years, Apple has told us that what happens on your iPhone stays on your iPhone. They built systems like the Secure Enclave to protect your data from everyone, including Apple itself. So, when they announced that they would be integrating OpenAI's technology directly into their operating systems, allowing Siri to pass complex queries off to ChatGPT, alarm bells started ringing. It seemed like a direct contradiction of their core brand promise, a crack in the walls of their carefully cultivated garden. So, what are the actual legal arguments here? It's not just a case of, I'm mad at you. Musk's lawsuit filed by xAI is grounded in a breach of contract claim. He alleges the founders entered into a founding agreement, that it would be a non-profit, that its technology would be developed openly for the public good, that its primary mission was to prevent the dangerous concentration of AI power in a single corporation. He says OpenAI's current structure and exclusive deals with Microsoft and Apple violate that agreement. Claim those deals shred the founding agreement into 1 million legally actionable pieces. The lawsuit points at GPT-4 as the crown jewel of this alleged betrayal. Earlier models released more papers and research, but GPT-4 is described as a complete black box. Its architecture is secret, its training data is secret, its inner workings are secret. Musk's lawyers say that secrecy is the polar opposite of open. The complaint frames the Apple OpenAI tie-up as a plan to integrate a dangerous AGI into ubiquitous personal devices, meaning turning every iPhone into a potential vector for an uncontrolled AI. The suit focuses heavily on security and privacy risks from the Apple deal. Musk alleges Apple, long known for protecting user data, is now recklessly exposing users to OpenAI. The filing warns that OS-level ChatGPT integration creates an unacceptable security risk. Musk even tweeted he'd ban Apple devices from his companies if integration went deep and non-optional. That public tweet becomes part of the legal thread in the filing. The core question: can Apple guarantee user data remains private when processed by a third-party AI? Apple and OpenAI have responded aggressively. Apple calls the suit frivolous and says Apple Intelligence is built with privacy at its core. So why should you care about this high-tech soap opera? Beyond the entertainment of billionaires throwing legal documents at each other, the outcome could have massive ripple effects across the entire tech industry. First and foremost, it could set a major precedent for how AI companies are structured and governed. If Musk wins, it could force OpenAI to be more transparent, potentially compelling them to open-source their powerful models. This would be a seismic shift, potentially democratizing access to cutting-edge AI, but also raising new questions about the uncontrolled proliferation of that same powerful technology. A victory for Musk could dent the walled garden strategy used by companies like Apple. It would challenge the idea that a company can promise absolute privacy while simultaneously integrating third-party technologies at a deep level. This could lead to greater scrutiny of tech partnerships, forcing companies to be far more transparent about how our data is handled when it leaves our devices. Conversely, if Apple and OpenAI win decisively, it will solidify the current paradigm, a future where a handful of massive corporations control advanced AI, and we must trust them to do the right thing. This lawsuit is a proxy war for the soul of AI development. Is AI a common good, digital infrastructure open to all like the internet, or is it a valuable, potentially dangerous product that needs tight corporate control? The court isn't just ruling on a founding agreement. The result could accelerate the open-source AI movement or entrench the power of incumbent tech giants for decades. Ultimately, this story is about control. Elon Musk is suing because he lost control of a project he believes is critical to humanity's future. Apple and OpenAI are fighting back to maintain control over their products. Apple and OpenAI are fighting back to maintain control over their profits. Apple and OpenAI are fighting back to maintain control over their vision for the future. We, the users, are caught in the middle, trying to figure out if our phones are about to get incredibly smart or incredibly dangerous. This lawsuit forces a conversation we desperately need about the technological world we want. And that, right there, is why it matters more than almost any corporate squabble you can imagine. Subscribe for updates as this story unfolds.